show you tonight when you have a subtle texture, something with plush, like velvet, or something that doesn't have an obvious pattern to it. Sometimes when you put it into repeat, you will see that lines appear, and because the whole thing is very subtle texture and it's all kind of one color and you're not trying to actually connect a pattern together, but you also don't want these lines to appear in intersections where the box repeated. I just put this velvet pattern into repeat and you can see that these lines appeared. One way to get rid of that is by using a different tool. There's a tool called the clone stamp tool, and you can click on it, and what happens is up in the top application bar, at first the clone stamp tool actually creates a circle. This is actually, think of this as like a paintbrush or an eraser almost. But this is up here in the application bar. You can change the size of your circle and the hardness, so you can make it, when you use it, it can be a lot more blurry or it can be a little bit more opaque. In this instance, because this is a velvet, I want to use a really soft brush, so I'm going to keep my hardness down to 0 because I want it to be a soft blended look when I try and blend out these lines that are appearing in the repeat. So I'm going to just start with the 14 pixel size clone stamp brush. Okay. Actually, sorry, let me do a new layer, and then I think it might need to be on a new layer. Let me copy. I'm just going to copy and paste it onto layer 1, and it should release the tool. So clone stamp tool. All right, let me get up close to where these lines are appearing that I want to blur. Essentially, I'm trying to blur them out is what I'm trying to do. So, here we go. It's because, okay, this is what I needed to do. I didn't even need to do a new layer, sorry. I'm just going to start in the background layer again. To use the clone stamp tool, I forgot that you actually have to hold the Option key down. And you hold the Option key down, you can see that the tool changes. It went from a circle to a filled circle with like a crosshairs inside of it. You click on the area of the pattern you want to copy. So with the clone stamp tool, it literally clones what you're copying, and then you can paint with it. So I'm copying here, holding the Option key on the clone stamp tool, and I'm going to copy it outside of this line, really close to where that line that I want to disappear. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to release the Option key on my keyboard, and then I'm just going to start to brush with it. Let me get up close so you can actually see. So like I'll hold Option to copy, release the Option key, and then start painting with the clone stamp tool, and you'll start to see that I'm starting to blend out that obvious, very obvious stripe, that obvious line, dividing line in the pattern repeat. So I'm going to click on Option. I kind of go around. I usually designate where the intersection lines I want to blur out are, and I copy the areas that don't have the lines really close to where the lines appear, so that way it looks more blended and it looks more organic to the way the fabric naturally is. So like if this is the line I want to get rid of, I will hold Option and copy really close to the line so that I get more of that same appearance of the fabric kind of transitioning over that obvious line that I want to get rid of. So I'll go in here and you can see a little bit more. So I'll hit Option on the clone stamp tool, copy, click on it, release the Option key, and then just start to drag and paint with this circle in the clone stamp tool. And that's why I wanted my pen to not be so hard, because if it was harder, it'd make it really obvious. Here, I'll just show you what that looks like. It just makes it really like a little bit more of a harder, aggressive type look. So I want it to be not as hard, and I usually do a smaller pen size because I want to be able to blend it a little bit in smaller sections so that it looks more natural. So you just click on the area you want to copy, holding the Option key, and then you release it, and then you just start to either click or click and drag, and you drag a little bit here and there and just start to blend that obvious line away. So you can see this area is already starting to get rid of that line. You don't see the obvious line like you see here in this section that I just started to paint with the clone stamp tool. So on things that have like obviously plush textures, or even like textured leathers and such fabrics like that, I put it into repeat so that I can actually see if these lines appear, and when the lines appear, then I actually start to blend them out using the clone stamp tool.
So if you have a big area to cover in a garment, then you would want to repeat at a bigger scale, so that way, like, so you started off with 5 by 5, you wouldn't want to do it 10 by 10. You probably do it like 15 by 15, so that way you were able to blend a larger area, right?
Yeah, well, also your pattern repeat will be bigger too.
Well,
so
not necessarily, because the outside edges are still not blended to match each other.
yes. But also one other thing you can do, if you had this in repeat, you can also just blend out like a small section of these lines in here, and then you can take the rectangle marquee tool and just go over the section that is nice and blended and edit to find that as a pattern.
But you're still going to get the same problem because the edges don't match up.
Okay, so that concludes I just wanted to show you that clone stamp tool, so that concludes this video.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were recording.
I always forget how to clear off of this. Okay.